Y'all remember SCP-5001 Sacrosanct? The huge orb that was supposed to contain something that was, like, so strong it could have destroyed the world? A lot of people told me that that device was supposed to contain, or was, part of the Broken God. And a lot of people have been asking me to react to a video from the Exploring series called Church of the Broken God, so we're gonna do it today. Guys, y'all know how to do it. Make sure to go over to their channel and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. If you like reaction videos, make sure to subscribe to my channel as well. Let's get into this reaction.
The Church of the Broken God.
Been
The
waiting for this
SCP
one, y'all.
universe is filled with countless anomalous objects, creatures, and phenomena.
Yes.
And it's only logical that there would also exist religions based around these strange and inexplicable concepts.
Yep. Quite a
While most
bit.
religions are focused on the idea of one or more deities and their role in the life and afterlife of humanity. The Church of the Broken God believes in a very different perspective.
I would imagine so.
This video will provide a brief summary of the currently known information related to the Church, but due to the lack of canon within the SCP universe, much of this is subject to interpretation or change.
So Sacrosanct was like alien
To put it
technology.
simply, the Church of the Broken God believes that their deity, an entity known as Mekhane, has been disassembled, shattered, or otherwise broken.
Okay.
Their goal, and the focus of their centuries of effort,
Put him back
is
together.
to reassemble Mekhane using a number of anomalous technological objects. To explain what happened to Mekhane and why they wish to rebuild him, we have to look back to their beliefs on the origin of life.
Okay.
In the beginning, there were two gods. Mekhane, the god of metal, machines, and intelligence, and Yaldabaoth, the goddess of flesh and animal instinct.
We heard that before, too.
It is said that Yaldabaoth is responsible for creating mankind, giving them their form and their instincts. But Mekhane is responsible for giving us our intellect. In time, humanity progressed, creating
awesome
continually
picture,
greater technological marvels
Dang, that's a good
and
one.
becoming more and more civilized. This pleased Mekhane, but greatly upset Yaldabaoth, as humanity was discarding their basic animal instincts. Yaldabaoth turned on humanity, wishing to turn them back into the wild animal she had first created, but Mekhane stepped in to stop her. Knowing that a continual battle between two gods would have dire consequences,
Of course.
Mekhane instead sacrificed himself, shattering his own body in order to use it as a great cage. Mekhane's body encased Yaldabaoth, silencing both deities.
Wow.
Pieces of Mekhane's body scattered across Earth, and fragments of Yaldabaoth began to trickle out of the cage.
What a cool concept, man.
The followers of Mekhane began spreading their religion, and set out to gather what pieces of Mekhane that they could find. They had two primary goals. One was to reform Mekhane, the broken god, and two was to oppose the followers of Yaldabaoth, known as Sarkics. Sarkics deserve their own video to cover their history,
We're gonna
which
cover
is even
that
more
too.
muddled than the Church of the Broken God.
Yeah.
But notably, they believe in the alteration of their human forms to achieve godhood, and they practice human sacrifice, ritual cannibalism, and the worshipping of disease. The distinctions between the two cults are obvious, with the Mekhanites believing they need to cast off their human nature with technology to achieve perfection, and Sarkics believing the opposite, that humanity and the Earth need to embrace their basic human nature, eschewing objective morality. It's believed that Sarkics wish to prepare the planet for the inevitable return of Yaldabaoth, and they primarily hope to achieve this using SCP-001, known as the Red Death, the flesh that hates.
Oh, that's such a great
SCP-001 is a highly
picture of it,
contagious disease that rapidly transforms and takes over its host, forcing the host to spread the disease as much as possible.
We did the flesh that hates
610 will infect any living organism nearby, and also will continue to spread fleshy growths in order to create an area hospitable for continued infection.
It's nasty.
Left unchecked, 610 would easily spread across the planet.
Yeah.
But the SCP Foundation, the Church of the Broken God, and other organizations have managed to keep it contained so far. Before the Foundation, however, it was left to just the followers of Mekhane to oppose the Sarkics, and this opposition most notably culminated in the War of the Flesh in the Late Bronze Age, and centered around the regions of Greece.
Okay.
The Sarkics fought by transforming themselves into abominable monsters and with tremendous flesh beasts, as well as spreading disease and infection across the land,
God.
primarily the Red Death.
That's pretty bad,
The
man.
Mekhanites fought by augmenting their bodies with metal and technology, and
So they
crafted
wouldn't
weapons
be-
capable of widespread destruction.
Right.
They also made great walking titans, piloted by 6 individuals, and with weapons capable of launching fire, or even warping reality
Like
nearby.
Voltron, baby.
One of these
Look
colossi
at
is
this.
currently contained by the Foundation in disrepair,
Look at this
designated
thing.
SCP-2406, and shows signs of damage from some sort of anomalous organism. The war between the two groups raged on for some time, although most details have been lost,
Right.
but both sides suffered massive losses throughout the war.
Yeah.
Finally, the Mekhanites managed to storm the final Sarkic stronghold in the Aegean, a massive organism that they used as a temple.
Made of
Knowing
flesh.
their defeat was imminent, the priest residing there summoned the Red Death, and also performed a rite that would preserve the large organism so that it could be resurrected later.
Wow.
This organism
Scary.
is also contained by the Foundation, designated SCP-2095.
Oh my god, man.
With the Mekhanites
I
allied
love
with
how
the
there's
various
so
Greek
many
city-states, the war
SCPs
continued,
related to it.
but both sides soon became unable to sustain their efforts, and eventually both the Sarkics and Mekhanites faded out of public view, and the world moved on.
Yeah. Poof.
The continued history of the Sarkics past this point is largely meant for another video,
Okay.
but the followers of Mekhane would eventually fade away, with the remnants forming into the organization we now know as the Church of the Broken God. The current Church of the Broken God is splintered into 3 main factions,
Okay.
which supposedly share a strong animosity for one another. The
Like they
principal
believe
faction,
different, or-
known officially as the Broken Church, is led by an individual known as Robert Bumaro, and largely follow the same tenets of their forefathers.
Okay.
The Cogwork Orthodox Church adhere to a technological style in
Cogworks.
line with the Industrial
That's a cool name.
Revolution, transforming their bodies using cogs, gears, and steam-powered machines. They believe in remaking themselves in the image of Mekhane,
So they're like
and utilize
cyborgs.
mechanical mass production as a form of prayer.
Huh.
The Church of
Interesting.
Maxwellism is on the other end of the spectrum, focused on modern computers, digital networks, and advanced cybernetics.
Aha.
They believe that humanity must be completely connected via a massive digital network, forming
Borg.
something akin to a hive mind,
The
so
Borg.
that the combined will of mankind can restore their deity.
Your legion.
There are currently a number of anomalous objects contained by the SCP Foundation that are believed to be parts of the Broken God, and likely a number that are not yet known to the Foundation. SCP-1139, known as the Broken Tongue or the Broken Voice,
Ooh.
is a metallic block that causes people in a radius around it to forget their known languages and instead comprehend a new shared language.
Wow, like the collective
SCP-813,
stuff.
known as the Broken Eye, is a glass sphere that causes small slivers of glass to enter people's eyes, and it's believed that the sphere uses these shards to see through people's eyes in order to find the other missing sphere.
Whoa.
SCP-217, said to be the Broken God's blood, or ichor, is a virus that can affect all animal life, including humans, and converts their bodies into a form of organic metal.
Organic.
This
matter.
converted material resembles metal, leather, rubber, glass, wood, etc., but is still organic material, carrying the subject's DNA.
Interesting.
It is said that Robert Bumaro, head of the Broken Church, willingly infected himself with the virus, and has been fully converted.
Wow.
Other SCPs are related
he's
to the Church of the
totally
Broken God,
metal,
whether
organic metal
supposed
now.
parts of Mekhane or otherwise, but one of the most notable is SCP-882. 882 is a massive assembly of random machine parts, such as gears, pulleys, screws, and so on, that are ordinarily in continual motion through unknown means,
Okay.
and also seem to telepathically urge nearby individuals to bring metal to it so that it can grow larger.
Wow.
882 is said to be the heart of the Broken God, but one of the proposals for SCP-001 describe an event that shine a new light onto this concept.
Okay.
The event described occurred in Mexico in 1942, in which a number of members of the Church of the Broken God managed to bring together multiple anomalous objects, causing them to form into a massive mechanical entity.
Dangerous.
This entity ravaged across the country, consuming everything in sight in order to grow larger,
look at this thing.
and seemed to be actively seeking out other anomalous objects.
It consumes stuff and just adds
Another
it to
SCP,
its
number
frame.
2399, appeared to destroy the mechanical entity, carving out the Gulf of California in the process.
What?
The Foundation cleaned up the mess, leaving the inactive core at the bottom of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
The supposed heart of the Broken God, SCP-882, was taken into containment. But later interviews revealed that this heart was in fact manufactured by another organization, the Factory, and was not a part of Mekhane.
Oh.
It seems that certain higher-ranking individuals in the church, primarily Robert Bumaro, who was not yet the leader, could not locate the heart of Mekhane, and instead had one made so that they could forcefully rebuild their god.
The factory that made anything
This corrupted
anomalous.
heart, 882,
Made a lot of SCP
caused the
stuff.
entity to go mad, and the whereabouts of Mekhane's actual heart are unknown, at least according to these documents.
But it's a part.
Finally,
it could be
there is
replaced, right?
SCP-2217, which is a beach on an island in Greece, meant to function as a form of workshop for the Broken God, that will assist his followers in fighting the Sarkics and SCP-610, the Red Death.
Okay.
This is revered as a holy site by the Church of the Broken God, known as the Anvil, and it's likely the place where Mekhane would finally be properly reassembled to fight the Second War of the Flesh. It's believed that a massive apocalyptic outbreak of SCP-610 will occur on December 31st, 2019, and the Foundation are currently working with the Church, as well as the Horizon Initiative and the Global Occult Coalition in order to prevent or prepare for this event.
Gotcha.
So that's largely the current story as we know it, although there are documents that contradict certain elements of this video.
Mm-hmm.
And as the SCP universe has no canon, you're free to think what you want about the Church.
Right.
If you do follow this canon, however, then you can see how the Church of the Broken God, originally presented as a mysterious enemy of the Foundation that wished to recreate a powerful entity for unknown purposes, is now working with the Foundation. While it's completely up in the air exactly what will occur in the future in regards to this supposed war for the sake of the Earth, the mythology and conflicts between the Sarkics and the Church of the Broken God have certainly been one of the most interesting facets of the SCP universe.
There's a very, very cool story behind that and stuff. He didn't mention Sacrosanct, though, and I'm still confused on whether Sacrosanct was part of the Broken God, like one of the pieces, or if it was meant to contain his nemesis, Sarkic. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. This was very, very good. Y'all were right. Thank y'all for the recommendations. Keep them coming. I'll try to get to all of them eventually. Appreciate y'all checking it out, guys. Make sure to hit the Exploring series up right there and a couple other videos that are watched and reacted to by him. Thanks so much for watching. As always, this is Zueljin signing off. We'll see you next time.